Hello YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. The date is Tuesday, January 28th, 2020, and the time is approximately 9 p.m. and 9 minutes, or 9:09 p.m. I would like to welcome you to the official video for the February 2020 entry of the Many Moons 2020 Lunar Planner. And I'm going to read to you the section that is the focus of this series of videos, the Tarot or Oracle card pull for the month, or the Tarot or Oracle card prompts. It reads, pull one card or a series of cards for this month. Spread suggestions. Card number 1, the seeds of my dreams. Card number 2, what resistance shall I meet as part of the process? Card number 3, what soul lesson is this illuminating? Or what soul lesson this is illuminating? And then it reads, a card to inspire a monthly affirmation. Pull a card and make up your own sweet saying to guide you through this month. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit on that one. For that affirmation for February 2020, I'm going to pull a card from the Tarot Affirmations deck. And basically I'll have it be, I'll include them in the description box, but I'll position it in the description box so that if you have not already come up with your own affirmation, then, you know, I don't want to like inadvertently influence you away from your creative process in creating one. I hope you understood that. For the tarot deck that I'm going to use, and I was divinely guided to use a tarot deck this time as opposed to an oracle card deck, is the new Palladini Tarot by David Palladini, which is a tarot deck that I love. From the first moment I saw the imagery, I loved it, resonated with it. It remains one of my personal favorite tarot decks after all these years. I still wish that the Aquarian Tarot, which was David Palladini's first tarot deck offering, excited me as much as the new Palladini Tarot does. And I've seen, you know, the High Priestess of that, the High Priestess card of the Aquarian Tarot is gorgeous. But I look at her and I'm like, you know, and, you know, and I've said this in other videos, you know, more than any other card in the Sacred Tarot for me, the High Priestess card is a visual representation of my personal goddess, the one who was called Osset by the ancient Egyptians, but is more modernly called Isis. Well, she's been called Isis for a few centuries as well, but Isis is her newer name. Osset is her more ancient name. And the fact of the matter is that I you know, I want to look at a High Priestess card and say, yeah, I can work with you. And I look at the High Priestess card of the Aquarian Tarot and it's like, yeah, but, you know. And then, of course, I'm not the only person on YouTube who has this kind of relationship with the High Priestess card or with the goddess more commonly known as Isis. Owl Moon 513 is definitely one who's like, yeah, the Isis card has to be a certain kind of card, a certain kind of image. But with that being said, I'm going to shuffle the deck. Love, love, love the new Palladini Tarot. I really do. And as I cast these cards, I know that I'm casting it for myself, but I call upon the divine powers of the great goddess and all the other celestial spirits of the universe, and may they be with us as I cast these cards, and may those of you watching this video receive love and light, prosperity and peace, clarity and illumination, wholeness and healing from the casting of these cards. And I'm going to cut the deck. And before I do that, oh, this was not closed correctly. Okay, so I'm going to dab myself with Florida water now. Okay, and now I'm going to close the cap correctly. And I know I should not do this on video, but believe me, there are enough things that fall in my apartment. I don't need liquid to be one of them. Okay, so the first card is the The seeds of my dreams. So these are the seeds of our dreams. Holding up the card, and it is upright, correct? And my awesome audiovisualist is going to do a close-up, and then I'm going to read the card. And it is the Queen of Cups. What, how funny. The seeds of my dreams. So, what must see? This is so amazing, and I can't even tell you all the reasons why. So, I'm getting a few different things from this. So first, I'm going to look at this card from a literal perspective. Sometimes seeds are placed in water before they're placed in soil, in earth, if you will. And I keep looking at like taking seeds and putting them in cups of water. And this is what I'm getting symbolically or clairvoyantly with regards to all of you, and with regards to us on this side of the camera as well. So what emotions do we need to give to those seeds of our dreams? And it's not just love. Love is one of them, yes, but I'm also thinking joy. Pardon me. I'm telling you, I make amazing coffee. I really do. So, and we need to reconnect. I'm going to say this. There is the possibility that there is a need for reconnecting with those seeds of our dreams. You know, and when I say dream, something that's lifelong, not just for a year or 2 years. Oh, excuse me. As the spirit is coming upon me. Now, right. Okay. And the other thing that I'm getting from this card is maybe we need to drink things. My mind goes to wine. Not even coffee or tea, just goes to wine. Dionysos, Dionysos, what are you doing to me? So I need to focus. As I was saying, so what is it that we can drink that is in conjunction with our dreams? You know, it's so funny because I remember years ago I had a client who also gives readings professionally, and she said that when she drinks a cup of coffee, a good cup of coffee before reading, that sets her in motion for giving phenomenal readings. And it's not a coincidence that usually for my videos when I cast cards, I usually have a cup of coffee in the vicinity. Oh. Queen of Cups and the Sacred Siren, the Magical Mermaid. Now I get it. Now I'm looking at this like what, and even her veil has like this mermaid this mermaid sweep to it, you know? Okay. What resistance will we meet as part of the process? So once again, I'm going to hold up the card so all of you see it first. My awesome audiovisual person will do a close-up, and then I will read the card. Four of Cups. Interesting. So, you know, it's funny because sometimes I will have as many as 4 cups of coffee in a day, or tea for that matter. So what resistance will I meet as part of the process? So the resistance is going to look a lot like resisting emotional healing. Now, for my own peace of mind, I'm going to say this. It is not an indication that you are resisting emotional healing, but you might give others that impression. And there is a period, there is a part of the process, and I'm going to say a healing process, because I keep focusing on healing. There is a part, oh, pardon me, as the Spirit comes upon me yet again, there is a part of this healing process where the universe is giving you everything you need to experience this deep emotional healing. And yet you may be giving others the impression that you're resistant to it. I don't think that you're resistant to it. I mean, tuning into all of you watching this video collectively, I do not sense that you're resisting your emotional healing or resisting the emotional healing that is a part of this process. I, however, sense that you will give others the impression that you are resisting it. And that's not the same thing as actually resisting it. But others will be thoroughly convinced that you are resisting it. No, you're not. You are simply adjusting to this emotionally healing process. And keep in mind that some of those emotional wounds, some of those wounds are traumas. And it may take a little bit more inner work for you to heal from them or recover from them. What soul lesson this is illuminating? So this card that I'm about to show you is the card that represents the soul lesson that this is illuminating, that this is revealing to you. And my sense is that it will produce soul growth. But some of you may experience what is commonly called a dark night of the soul before that happens. So, with that being said, I'm going to hold up the card. I'm going to show all of you the card first. I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of said card. And now I'm going to read the card. Ace of Pentacles. Interesting, very interesting, and I'll tell you why that's interesting. So, this period of soul growth from this one soul lesson is going to be year-long. Again, this is for February 2020, but the Ace of Pentacles traditionally corresponds to the date of the winter solstice. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that this year it's December 22nd. Now, when I write in the description of when I fill in the description box for this video, I will have the correct date of the winter solstice, as well as the time when the sun enters Capricorn in the Eastern time zone. And of course, for those of you who live in the other hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, it will be the first day of summer. It will be the date of the summer solstice, for those of you in that part of the world. But for those of you in my part of the world, it will be the winter solstice. So I really feel like this soul lesson is going to be year-long, or in this case 11 months long, and definitely it will lead to a conclusion and a new beginning as of the winter solstice, or in another part of the world, the summer solstice of 2020. So, well, the one in December. Let me clarify that. Yes. And I really feel that it will take you to a new place. Both physically, or both literally and figuratively, it'll take you to a new place. And I really feel like it will also transcend a lot of stuff you may have about money and prosperity. And I'm always up for that. Now, a card to inspire your monthly affirmation. So, I'd rather not inadvertently or inappropriately influence you, and I do apologize for that if that actually does happen. But I really feel like I need to pull a card from the Tarot Affirmations deck. In the description box, I will have all of the affirmations that are printed on this card. But again, I'm going to show all of you the card first. I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up. And then I will read the name of the card as well as the first affirmation printed on it. Okay, now I'm going to hold it upright and have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up. I apologize, YouTube. My intention was to show you the card upright. And I'm surprised that my awesome audiovisual person didn't notice that, given his connection to this card. It's the Wheel of Fortune. I've never noticed that before. It says the Wheel of Fortune. I'm serious. I've had this deck since it was first published in 2001, and I have 2 copies, and I never noticed that. The Wheel of Fortune. I am change, the continuing cycle of beginnings and endings through which life unfolds. It's so funny because One of the things that I've been noticing since the beginning of January 2020 is I want to become more open to change and more embracing of change. And one of the things that I have had on my mind for a while, and really I've had it on my mind technically since May of last year, but officially since June of last year, and that is that I want to get as close to achieving level 9, the 9th level of being a Google local guide. And I have a seemingly insurmountable number of points to go. I think I have about 24 to 31,000 points remaining until I'm a level 9 Google local guide. So one of the things that I want to do this year is to go to new places. And that's important to me for the simple reason that by going to new places and taking photographs and videos when I'm at those new places, that means that I can contribute more and I can get closer to being a level 9 Google local guide. Because the only way that I'll receive points on reviews that I've already submitted is if I rewrite or edit the reviews I've already submitted. So, but anyway, with that being said, it's so funny. I tend to associate, among others, Isis Fortuna as the goddess on the Wheel of Fortune card. But it would also be Fortuna, the ancient Roman goddess of fortune, good or ill, and the ancient Greeks called her Tyche. So this for me is, and I'm also getting Ganesha for this card, interestingly enough. So I really feel like there's a lot going on with this card, and what I want to say to all of you is, personally, I don't have anything against change. My only issue with change is that it seems to happen too often in my life. And one of the things that I've decided is I want to get ahead of the learning curve, as I'm calling it, and really begin to change, and really begin to embrace change more. And that may become one of your dominant themes for 2020. And I don't think I already did this, but I'm going to have my awesome audiovisual person do a close-up of the final message card. It is upright, correct? Thank you. And afterwards, I will interpret the card. Two of Swords. It's funny that I say, it's so funny this card came out because of what I said in one of the two videos I've already done today. So it was either the Many Moons 2020 Lunar Planner overview video or the Many Moons January 2020 video. But one of the things that I have always been okay with is doing things on my own and doing things by myself. And I don't have an issue doing things with other people. I really don't. Sometimes I find it easier to do things on my own or do things by myself or just do things without reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, can you help me with this? Or, hey, can you accompany me to this event, to this thing, this whatever? Because sometimes it's just easier. It's easier for me that way. Sometimes historically, I've never had much success in asking people to accompany me to certain places. And I very rarely do because I really don't want to go through my Rolodex and say, start at A and then end at Z and not have anybody to accompany me to something. So I just find it easier to do things on my own. But this card is saying to me that one of the things that would benefit us to embrace and practice more of in 2020 is doing things with at least one other person. And that's a bit daunting for me because I find that it's easier for me and it's less stressful. It's actually not at all stressful for me to do things on my own. But I need to be open and receptive, and I'm saying this for myself, I need to be open and receptive to doing things more so in partnership with other people. And for you, it may be just the opposite. Maybe you're always doing things with other people, and maybe you need to remember what it's like to have a partnership with yourself. And, you know, it's funny because twos are partnership cards in the tarot, and yet so many Two of Swords cards and Two of Wands cards will depict one person. So for me, what I'm getting for you, so the card just drops on the floor. What I'm getting for you is that if you are so accustomed to doing things with at least one other person, maybe you need to remember what it's like to do things on your own. Maybe you need to remember how it is to have a partnership just with yourself. Like, my partnership with myself is pretty good because I really have no problem doing things on my own, and I relish that. But I also need to be open to doing things with other people. Small groups, even large groups, or at least one other person. And for those of you who are so accustomed to doing things on your own and so extremely comfortable doing so, like me, it's about expanding that level of comfort and going outside of that comfort box and saying, okay, I'm going to do this. And please don't kill yourself over this. You know, like, really, if you go through your phone book or your contact list in your phone and you've already reached out to 5 different people and none of them are available, then fine. You know, don't make noise about it. Don't let noise enter your mind about it. Just be like, okay, you know, it's like, okay, you know what, I reached out to 5 people, none of them are available, this excites me, this makes me happy, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, and that's that. So with that being said, YouTube, as always and always and always, thank you so much for honoring who I am and what I do. I invite all of you to schedule your appointment with me, book your reading with me, your metaphysical consultation, your energy healing treatment. I have a lot of openings left in February, which is surprising. No, it's not surprising. I've been doing something to manifest financial prosperity that I had not done in a long time. And I've been making that the priority over doing other things that I normally do to manifest financial prosperity. So once I resume doing that, I'm going to be booking up for the rest of them. Actually, I'm already booked up for all of January. That's right, I'm booked up all of January, and I'm booked up a portion of February. A portion. But if you want to schedule your appointment for February 2020, the time, ladies and gentlemen, is right now. With that being said, thank you for honoring who I am and what I do. I wish all of you and yours peace and many mountains of blessings. And good night.